Good evening and welcome to the NDTV Dialogues, a program where we look at a dialogue of ideas. Our special guest tonight is one of the most respected names in India today, Mr. Narayana Murthy. Sir, you're so often described as a leader of Indian industry, and I think that doesn't, in a sense, do you justice, because you really are one of the few Indian leaders across various fields who are looked up to today. At a time when there seems to be a crisis of leadership, where we often look to see who can lead India now after the next general elections, where would you look at the issue of whether it's governance or even credibility today?
Well, I think the most important need of the day is high quality leadership. There is no doubt about it. Because at the end of the day, leadership is all about simplifying complex issues, abstracting a few manageable issues out of the morass of complexity, articulating those issues, exhorting people, and then achieving results. For example, at this stage of development of India, it's very, very clear that the need of the day is to reduce poverty. Mm-hmm. In order to reduce poverty, you have to create more and more jobs. Second, you have to put in place a very efficient public governance system that will provide basic education, healthcare, nutrition and shelter to the poor. So therefore, there are two agendas, or really three here. One, ensure that we have the fastest GDP growth rate, fastest business growth rate on the one hand. Second, consequently collect as much taxes as possible. Third, improve the efficiency and the efficacy of public governance system so that every one of the paise that is collected actually goes to improving the lot of the poor. I think these are the three simple but powerful ideas that any leader that comes to power after May 2014 must embrace, and in every one of his or her meetings with his or her cabinet ministers or with bureaucrats, or in every public speech, he or she will have to talk about what he or she is doing in encouraging businesses to grow the fastest in the world, collecting more and more taxes and spending it efficiently.
It's very interesting you said that, because then you're talking about a leadership of ideas. Today we've seen that all the discourse, whether it's political or media discourse even, is about a leadership of personalities. So you always see it pitted about whether it's Narendra Modi or Rahul Gandhi or even now Arvind Kejriwal. Are we focusing too much on personalities, or do you actually need a person? Do you need to actually have these ideas accumulate around a person who can convey it?
I think, that is where people like you will have to play a very important role, and that is, we should have television debates amongst the possible prime ministerial candidates in different cities. You do it in Delhi, and somebody else, Rajdeep, does it in Calcutta, somebody else does it in Bangalore, etc., etc. And there you have to ask them about their ideas. You have to ask them about their vision. You have to ask them about their commitment to making this country a better country, what their ideas are, how they will do that, like it happens in the US presidential debates.
Do you think that that is a model that works? Because, for instance, the Gandhis and even the Prime Minister are very opaque in communication. And Narendra Modi is much more articulate. He's available on social media, etc. But again, stays away from press conferences or debates in that sense. Arvind Kejriwal, very accessible, but questions raised about whether he has the team to back up his ideas. Where do you think India isn't used to the model you've just outlined?
Well, one of the most important attributes of a great leader is the ability to communicate. I don't know of a single successful leader in the history of this world who couldn't communicate well. Mm-hmm. Whether it was Mahatma Gandhi, whether it was Abraham Lincoln, whether it's George Washington, whether it's Martin Luther King Jr., whether it was Winston Churchill, you name it, every one of these people could communicate extremely well. Therefore, our leaders must be ready to communicate. That is their primary job. They have to raise the confidence of people. They have to give new hope to people. They have to walk the untrodden path and then discover the extraordinary potential of this country and convert it into reality.
Do you think that gives Narendra Modi an edge over Rahul Gandhi?
You know, I don't, you know, I am apolitical. Therefore, as far as I am concerned, I am quite happy whether it is Mr. Rahul Gandhi or Mr. Narendra Modi or somebody else. That doesn't matter to me. And I am also not sitting in judgment on who is better, who is not better. All that I would say is this: we have to give an opportunity for the potential leaders to communicate their vision for the country, communicate their plan for the country, communicate how they will bring back a GDP growth rate of 9% for the country. And that is extremely important. Therefore, I would say the minimum requirement for any future leader has to be the ability to communicate clearly and to the point, and in a way that it enhances the energy and enthusiasm of people.
Aam Aadmi seems to have done that. They managed to, their communication skills, their volunteers, their fund collection have all really set a new course in Indian politics today. What do you look at as admirable in AAP currently, and what perhaps do you think is also issues there? There are worries now about a fresh election in Delhi. What perhaps is some advice that you would give Arvind Kejriwal, someone you've worked with closely during the RTI days as well?
Well, you know, I have known Arvind pretty well till he entered the political arena, and then of course I have not had contact with him because, as a matter of principle, I don't align myself with any political party. But I must say that Arvind did something truly extraordinary, and that is, he has demonstrated to the Indian public that it is possible to succeed without too much of money. To win 40% of the 70 seats in the Delhi Assembly with the little resources that he and his people have had is truly extraordinary. That, I think, is a good model. In fact, Mr. Rahul Gandhi also commented on the model of AAP. So therefore, I would say that Arvind has brought a new sense of confidence to people, a new model of political parties to succeed. Tomorrow, imagine if a group of people in Bangalore, Bombay, Calcutta, Chennai, Hyderabad and other cities were to learn the lessons of Arvind's AAP and then say, we too will try out this experiment. Then there will be a huge change in the country. Imagine, I mean, today we have probably about 130 to 150 seats coming from the urban area, towns and cities and semi-urban areas. If these people become a bloc in the parliament post 2014, I think they can do a lot of good stuff. So,
and going beyond caste and identity in that sense.
Oh, absolutely. That's a good thing about being urban people. You know, we don't align ourselves much on these parameters.
Interestingly, but we've seen the situation where there may very well be fresh elections in Delhi because the BJP has said that we don't want to go looking for more MLAs. AAP has said we do not have the mandate. Some worries about how, when we look at actual governance, that this isn't the way forward, that there does need to be some way where a party which has won such a mandate must actually take the power and govern.
I agree with you. I think in the interest of the state of Delhi, in the interest of quick and efficient public governance, we have to come out with some legislation that says that whichever is the party that has the largest number of seats will form the government, doesn't matter even if they are in the minority, and it is the responsibility of the opposition to provide support to them on issue basis. Insofar as they do things that are good for the society, they shouldn't oppose it.
The much larger context in the debate today is, of course, secularism. We've seen this word, the BJP says that secularism is used as a mask. It's pseudo-secularism. Narendra Modi says India first, development is my mantra. Do you think we now need to go beyond labels of secular and communal, because Mr. Modi's opponents will raise issues like Gujarat against him?
No, I think secularism is very important. It is fundamental, because in a pluralistic society like India, we want every Indian to be enthusiastic about the future. We cannot let anybody feel that he or she is a second-class citizen. Therefore, secularism is extremely important. But it should not stop at just secularism. It should go beyond that, and that is where development becomes extremely important. Development on a platform of secular democracy. I think that is the need of the day.
Do you accept, because you've seen many critics of Mr. Modi would say that, oh, corporate India supports Narendra Modi, and they ignore issues like, say, unequal development, that the Gujarat development model actually doesn't exist beyond on paper. Mr. Digvijay Singh and various congressmen raise this often. You've been to Gujarat many times. You've worked with Mr. Modi in a sense.
Yes.
Do you accept this argument?
No, I don't accept that argument, because I have been to Gujarat. I am the chairman of the Gujarat Enterprise Institute. I have worked with Mr. Narendra Modi. I have met him several times. I have tremendous respect for what he has done in Gujarat. We must all give credit where it is due. If you look at the power situation in Gujarat, if you look at the road situation in Gujarat, it is better than most states that I have been to. So why don't we simply accept that this man has done something good? I think we have to be fair to people.
So you think sometimes the whole debate, whether it's Professor Amartya Sen or Professor U.R. Ananthamurthy, saying that we don't want to say Mr. Modi shouldn't be Prime Minister of India. Do you accept that argument?
I mean, I think we have to go on the basis of whoever is the best insofar as development based on a secular democracy is concerned, we should be our leader. Whether it is Mr. Narendra Modi, or whether it's Mr. Rahul Gandhi, or whether Mr. Arvind Kejriwal or somebody else, that's fine.
And you don't think the Gujarat riots are an issue which should stop Mr. Modi, stop Mr. Modi from becoming Prime Minister?
We have had riots in Delhi. I mean, let's not, while certainly, as I pointed out earlier, I think it will, as long as people recognize their mistakes, as long as they are willing to show a sense of contrition, I think that should be fine. After all, no human being is perfect. There have been lots of riots in India. So the important thing is for us to say, we will correct whatever happened, we will move forward in a positive way. I think that is the thing.